Hey guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're jumping back into a new episode of FTB Skies. And boy, behind me, as you can see, we are going to be getting started with, well, with Mekanism, and we're going to be automating. So, I hope you guys are ready. So today I am diving headfirst into Mekanism automation, and that means we're going to be automating all of the components for Mekanism, but that's not just what we're going to be working on today. We're also going to be talking about cross-dimensional refined storage management and how to get our refined storage system into a compact machine such as this. So before diving headfirst into the Mekanism, well, we're going to have to get our refined storage into that dimension so that way we can handle some things. Now, we're going to be able to easily maneuver power because of our last episode getting into flux networks and also setting up the gas burning generator. So our power is linked into this, and I can probably at this point, I no longer need these cables that are hooked in up here. I also don't need this. I don't need the generators because our power is just being piped directly into the charger from one of these cables over here, which is hooked into our flux network system. So this is very simple, and this is going to be very easy. Now, to get your system to work cross-dimensionally, you're going to need a network transmitter and a network receiver to do this. Now, setting this cross-dimensional refined storage network is super simple. Setting it up is pretty easy. So we take our transmitter and we can put that on our base here. And then we're going to have our receiver. Receiver is going to receive this signal. We're also going to need a network card. And we're also going to need to make sure that both sides are chunk loaded. Make sure our base here is chunk loaded with our main system, and that our system that is in here is also chunk loaded. So to do that, we can open up our map, and we click the little map up here, and then we can click it to highlight it, and then hold shift to make sure it's chunk loaded. You'll see the little bands. Now, if you're running out of chunk loaded, like forced chunk loads, and you're playing on single player and you want to extend that more, well, you can run the FTB chunks command and then go to admin if you're playing in single player. And then you can go down to, where is it at? Bypass. We need to go to extra force chunks. And then you just select your name and then add or set. I like to do set. And then you just set your amount, like for example, 100 or whatever you're needing for your playthrough. Just a quick little tip if you were wondering how to do that. Now, let's set this up. So we put our receiver down in here, and then we take our network card and we link it to it by shift right clicking on our receiver. Now, when we go back, we need to put this card inside of our transmitter. And when we do that, it'll say compact machine and it'll have the world here. Now, this does cost a little bit of power to do this. So you can see right here, it is using 64 to do that. The other one doesn't use anything, but it's only using 64 FE to transmit that cross-dimensional. So it's not too bad to do. Now, anything else we add to the system is going to, cost more and more, but we have plenty of power now, thankfully. So underneath here, I'm going to I think I can hook a transmitter directly to the side, and I should be able to access my grid. Yeah, I don't even have to put cards in here. 16 blocks is plenty to cover this range. It's literally less than that. And then we can just cover this back up and run our cables, which these are actually going to need to be ran through here. We're going to use this to hook into our system to access it cross-dimensionally now. And we should be able to set up all of the things that we're going to need for our Mekanism automations. Now, just to keep things nice and symmetrical, I have everything set up here that I think I'm going to need to be able to craft all of these components that we kind of have set up over here. Including more when it comes to crafting with Mekanism and utilizing the control circuits. Now, I can get by with some of these machines doing multiple processes. For example, I could have this doing the, we can have it making the infused alloy, flux, and also control circuits all from the same one because it just is going to use redstone. That's my major concern with setting these up, is I want to make sure that when I send the proper amount of something and I have multiple crafts going, that it doesn't put everything into a barrel and then something get mixed up and I get something put in here that doesn't need to be in the melted liquid slot, and then it gets stuck. So that's why I'm using multiple machines. Now, a crafter will not just craft directly into this. Because we have to have two different sides, we have to determine when configuring our slots we only have 2 different slots here, and we can't set multiple to the same output, or same input and same output. It just won't allow us to do that. So what I'm going to have to do is on this input slot, we can have that set to the top, and then the back can be the slot where we put our other ingredient, such as redstone. But in our case, we're not going to be using redstone. I'm going to explain that here in a minute. So to set this up, all we have to do is have some item pipes and route it just like this. It's very simple to kind of visualize once you get it up and running. But we set it up like this, right? Where we have our item pipe. Is this an item pipe? This is a mechanical pipe. I meant to do like a logistical pipe. Let me pop in here. Logistical pipe. That's what I need a little bit of. So logistical pipes will connect and it'll show it's connecting. There we go. Logistics is for items. Now, with this done, I can place a barrel either on the top or the back. It doesn't really matter. I think for looks, I'm just going to place it right here. So from this, we have items that will be put into here from a crafter, and then we'll have them automatically pulled like this out of the barrel, and it'll automatically know where to put the stuff. That's the good part about these pipes is, well, only certain things can go in here. So it's only going to put those items in here. And that'll get filtered across all of these. Now, for example, things that use the diamond, right? The enriched dust. Well, this can be processed in the same machine as well. Anything that is requiring the diamonds right here, these 2 products will be in their own machine. So we can get away from having a bunch of mechanical or metallurgic infusers. These will all be upgraded, by the way. And I'm also, for the materials for each of these, to not just skip over that, I'm not going to be using the standard recipe. I'm going to be using this, the enriched redstone. It, for one, is way, way better on resources to do it this way, but it also makes handling all of the products, it makes it a lot easier to define when you're actually setting up the crafting recipes. Now, don't forget to make this easy on yourself to separate these. As you can see right here, you're going to want to separate them. So click them like 3 times. Does the trick, because we don't want any of these pipes connected for sure. And then another little tip that will make your life a lot easier is utilizing that configuration card. So shift right click on this, which we already have configured. Actually, let's make sure it's fully configured. We want the bottom to be the output, by the way. So make sure that that blue is associated and it says output. Then we can copy this and we can paste by right clicking, and we'll just paste all of those settings, same settings, into here. Oh, I do need to make sure auto eject is on for all of them. So there we go, auto eject. This one's a lot simpler as far as configuring the inputs and outputs go. We just want the top to be that and then the output to be on the bottom, because we're going to be handling all of the outputs. They're all going to be piped out of these machines, and they're going to be piped right into an importer. Just in case you were wondering, a crafter would work directly on the enrichment chamber, but just for consistency and looks, I'm going with this. And also you can use any storage. You don't have to use barrels. I'm using iron barrels because I think they look good, and it's kind of fitting in this room that we're working on. I ended up getting a little villager while we're here, and well, this guy's selling globe gang stuff. Let's grab it. Look at that globe. I want to grab these. These are more than just what you think. Like on the appearance, they're more than that, because what they can do is emit a redstone signal that is a little bit different every time. So right now you're seeing, oh, it's not going to emit a redstone signal on its own. It does need a comparator or a way to receive it. Oh man, I just like showing little things like this. But this is cool for like mini games, right? So you can see, I think it can emit a redstone signal up to 4. So it's like 0 to 4. So when I roll it, full redstone signal, and then you can see now it's a redstone signal of 3 right here, a power of 3. And then next time we roll it, it's a redstone signal of 4. So you can see where its utility could be used in sort of randomization. There's 1. Pretty neat, and I love them. You can also rename them and all kinds of stuff and make a flat world one and all kinds of just funny little things. So this is almost ready to go. We just got to get our power in. So Flux Network hooked right into this bad boy. And I'm going to call this, definitely need to get used to naming things. And we'll call this mech room. Because this is where our automation's taking place. And we'll place ourselves in energy transfer node. It's a beautiful device. Oh, I just love this. Because like you don't even need these. You don't even need flux points sticking out of things. You can just literally just click on the machine. And it's just a thing of beauty. This is honestly one of my favorite parts of Cyclic are these just on their own. Like anything that I can use to make setups cleaner looking, I will do. There's nothing worse for me than pipes and cables just all in your face. But anyways, there we go. That's all set up. And now everything should have power. Looking really good. And I even have the crafter set up with the cable running through the back, nice and clean. And we're ready to start working on the auto crafts and getting them placed in. So this by far is going to be one of the most confusing parts of the auto crafting. Everything else was simple up to this point. And what we're going to want to do is set up an auto craft process for every single enriched version of its material counterpart part, because that's what we want to use in our auto crafts. So the main thing that we're going to be using for that is going to, of course, be enriched diamond. That honestly makes the process way easier to use enriched diamond. We're also probably going to want enriched obsidian. I believe this, yeah, this is taking that refined dust and enriching it so we get more bang for our buck. As far as enriched gold and enriched tin, we really don't need that at the moment. This would be more useful for automating and making the production of netherite cost less gold. Enriched tin, I don't even know what we would use that for. So these are going to be the main things that are going to go in our enrichment chamber. That's pretty straightforward. But here's where things get a little bit more challenging because, for example, infused alloy, it costs, it tells you right here, 10 millibuckets of redstone, which is the equivalent of 1 redstone. However, you can check how much you get from this. So a single enriched, even though it comes from 1 redstone, gives us 80 millibuckets, which means we can now craft 8 infused alloy for the cost of 1 enriched. So we need to account for that whenever we're doing the process here. So this right here is not giving the enriched. So if we pull the enriched over and then click here, we're going to be able to say that we can do 8 and then set that. And then this right here means we're going to get 8 in return as well. We need to define that when we're actually making this. And again, as you can see, 8 here is equivalent to, it's just all going to make 8 infused alloy off of this one. So for every recipe that we're working on, we're going to have to make sure we go in and adjust the values to their associated enrichment versions to make sure it's 1-to-1 and we don't end up overcrafting or undercrafting. And just in case you want to see the values, this is the value for reinforced alloy, and right here is the value for the atomic alloy, all lining up, and we'll get all of these basic components automated. And these are the values for enriched iron. And then of course, after the enriched iron, we are going to be making steel dust, which is going to be identical, right? We're going to be taking the original and it's going to be 8 and setting that, and 8 here. And that is just about it. This is almost steel production. Of course, we're going to need to take steel dust and smelt that in some way. And so we can make a crafting recipe for that. That will go into our smelter. And then last but not least, we have flux dust, which again, this is 40. And as you can see, obsidian dust here, 41. We also need to make obsidian. So we'll say in an enrichment chamber, take obsidian, make the dust. That is going to go in our enrichment chamber as well, along with everything else. But flux dust, it's 40. So we know that this produces 80 off of the recipe. So take this, and if 40 and 80, that just means we can only get 2 out of each one. So 2 dust will take up the entire enriched redstone and give us 2 flux dust in return. And so here's all of our ingredients ready to go. I almost forgot one, and that is the one for refined obsidian dust. Yes, and this is another 8 that you can see here. And I almost forgot the one for the basic control circuits. So we definitely want to get these put back in here as well. And these are going to be set to 4. Very nice. And that is just about it. So I'm putting everything in to the machines now. and sorting everything out. So this one right here is all of the things that use redstone. So redstone in. Then we're going to have, let's see, this one can be the two that require the diamond. And then of course the final one, which is going to be the atomic alloy. And that's the automation for all of these. Now, all you have to do is get some of this started to process. And then we should be ready to go to start making all of the upgrades and speed upgrades for our machines to start utilizing some of that power and make this incredibly fast. And now here's the moment of truth, the scary part in seeing if all of the hard work has paid off. And that is crafting ourselves an atomic. Now, when I go to craft one, it's going to craft two because of the way our recipe was defined. But we see the materials going in. That is getting that prepped up. And it already has the atomic alloy, so it didn't need to make that. And it didn't need to make anything else. So it should be able to handle this. You can see that's rolling in. And then we see the diamond just went in with the 4. Very simple. It went through the back like it's supposed to. And you can see it's prepping the other. And oh, we messed up. This is where we need to definitely make sure we check these. Whew. We definitely messed up. Let's put that back in the barrel. Because that's going to be the next process that takes place. And it's going to have nowhere to go, right? There we go. Whoops. That's why we test. That's why you definitely test. And then now that that has gone through, it should have sent enough for the next processes to happen. And as you can see, it's not very fast right now, right? That's where our changing these to factories and upgrading is going to take place. That's very weird seeing that that looked like that just transferred from here over to here. Some weird visual things happening with these pipes, but it may be shaders related. But yeah, it's working. There it goes. Now it's producing this, making the refined obsidian dust that we're going to need. And then last but not least, it's going to put everything in, hopefully. And then we're going to receive our atomic alloy. And there it goes. That just goes to show it is now working in its slow form. And let's start making those factory upgrades. So boop, 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 and boop. Nothing wrong with upgrading these. Now setting up the auto sort. I feel like that's a good idea to always have the auto sort on so it can be the fastest it can possibly be at any given time. And this is just this upgrade. Of course, I want to upgrade it even further down the road. But I think this will definitely make it, it'll make it way faster. Can we already upgrade to this? So what we should probably do is get the autocraft set up for the control circuits, because that's just regular crafting. You know, the thing about Mekanism is once you get started, boy, do you get started. Like, things really start going fast from that point. Now, I got all of the components, such as the dust, made up, and I automated my pulverizer with a crafter. Very simple. We can put 8 speed upgrades in here and 8 energy upgrades inside of this factory. And this is even with the base tier. And this is probably one of the first things you want to get done as well. That way now, if I want to craft, for example, an advanced installer, we can do that. Let's see. I'm going to probably need 4 of these. Like right now it makes 2. Let's see. Advanced installer. Let's go ahead and make 1. And if we go ahead and upgrade our machine, you can see now there's even more slots, and it just gets bigger and bigger the higher tier you go up. Of course, we would probably want to get this maxed down. So just to show on these upgrade cards, things get increasingly expensive. So for example, this is going to cost, to do all 5 machines, it's going to cost 40 reinforced alloys. And we can go ahead and make them. I have no problem doing that. So let's do 40. And then we'll start. And now our only limiting factor is our pipes, right? So we'll definitely want to upgrade our pipes as we go too. So at the moment, elites are set up. Let's convert these into elites. I don't think I've ever upgraded these to max, but there they go. Just to demonstrate how fast we can make atomic even at this level, let's go ahead and make some atomic. By the way, if you have something in your inventory, like for example, we have this and we want to craft this, if you hold Control and Shift and then click, we actually will open up the crafting interface. Let's make 10. And there we go. We should see the ingredients going in. And that gets all smelted up. Still, the pipes are the slowest part of the whole setup. And then it's sent over here. And it's got them already done. That's how fast this machine, the automation is for this. Now, one last thing, if you're following along, I definitely need to add some speed upgrades into my importer. And as this is now the bottleneck, but I don't think we're going to have any problem now crafting the amount that we were needing, right? For this, the 256 atomic alloy. I think we pretty much have that in the bag now. So I know you're probably tired of seeing this room, but I just wanted to put the final touches on it and get this thing to max upgrade. Oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Now I think the limiting factor is how fast our crafter can send the items into the barrel to be put into here, because this thing is pretty much instant. Now I think at this point we can definitely complete the second part of the pyramid of in-game, and that is going to be this section right here. The only thing I have to make that I don't already have everything of is going to be the mushroom mushroom rice. So to make the mushroom rice, I have myself a stove, and then we just put a cooking pot on top, and then we just provide it with the ingredients that is needed. And then that is going to make that mushroom stew. Very simple, farmer's delight stuff. I love this mod. It's just a neat little mod, especially for food and things like that. It can be automated pretty easy. Some of these foods supply a lot of stuff. So let's go ahead and submit that. By the way, when it submits, it is gone. So submitted items are something that you're prepared to lose in gains of these rewards, right? So I did just submit that, and it should have went through. Let's test a mana tablet. So it didn't seem like it fully accepted that, or it did accept it. It just, it doesn't show it completed. But unless it was 2, I think it was only 1 though. All right, so I do need my wand, and let's pop up here to our mana pool. Now, this is where our mana pool is currently at. All I did was put a stack of blocks in there from before, but we need to reverse this and have this go. By the way, I do believe this will speed up if you use the time in a bottle on it. But there we go. That's a full mana pool. So if we submit, do we have to have all the items on us in order to submit? Oh, you know what? It is consuming, which is unfortunate. And it's done. Okay, and this right here. Okay, so I see. It says right here, if we've submitted it or not. This has not been submitted. But this says like 3 of 16 and 1 of 28. I don't want to send it all. And we may have to send this through a screen. Let's make the netherite. 2 stacks of netherite. And hopefully it works. Okay. This has been, everything's been done except for the honey. Maybe that's why it's not completing, is maybe it's because this has not been done yet. So screen, let's do a task screen and then a mechanical pipe. And let's just try it. We definitely gotta get that honey over to here. So let's get the honey transferred. We have just about everything ready to go. So the honey right here, 140 buckets worth. Let's make sure our screen is set. Select the task, and it is honey. Approve. And then set this up. And that should start sending the 100 buckets into the task screen. And that is completed. Very nice. Now I do want to have not this pull out, but I want the rest of the fluid that's in its buffer to go out if all possible. Come on, I gotta shrink down. Got that shrink mod to be able to access this. All right, there we go. And that should drain that all back in here. I want that honey for later. Okay, so that is completed. And then we have the power. The power has not been completed either. That should be a pretty easy thing to do though. So the task screen for power, let's go ahead and select this right here. That's 100 billion. We need the 100 million? Was that what it was? It is 100,000, 100K. Let's see, 100K. Let's select that. And it's good to go. And then we just put a point on it. Select our main network, and it's already done. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so now it shows that the tasks were completed. Whew, I got a little scared thinking that I was literally about to lose those things. All right, so what's left is submitting those. We need to submit our budding amethyst, and we got a bunch of those over here. Then, of course, I still have these. We have the ability to make tons of these if need be. We have so many. These were all generated from our golem, and I even had to stop the golem because it was just making too many. Just way too many. So that's completed. Submit. And then a precision mechanism, and which we have over here. So we're almost done with our like little first chapter here. So there's that. And there we go. And we get all these juicy rewards. And then now I have to make this. And then echo shards. The only thing that's not self-explanatory is the echo shards. They come from a villager, and I believe we already have that villager. I just got to figure out which one it is. I think I named it Echo. Yeah, and we already have them anyways. Man, just watching the atomic alloy process up after starting the autocraft of that many is just bonkers looking. As you can see, these are falling in. And it's just waiting to get all of them in, and then it starts hitting that enriched in there. This would be, I think, way faster if maybe instead of these pipes, we actually use something else that could do both processes at once. So maybe even having two inputs would make this faster. But even still, it's fast on its own. It's just, poof, my goodness. And this is about to start working. You can see. Wow. Yep, definitely having an output on the back, or yeah, a way to output makes this go way faster. You can see it inputting in here. Whew, this is too much. And so with that, we are going to become over tiered tier 2. So let's send all of the items and submit. And there we go. So we get ourselves some pretty neat items. Now, not all of them we can use just yet, but we did manage to get ourselves an infinity backpack for basically free. Yeah, this doesn't, in this tier doesn't have a crafting recipe, but you can make this. This is actually under tier rare, and has been already gone through its tiers. It can hold quite a few items inside of its slots. And when I say it can hold multiple items, like this slot can hold multiple stacks of items, and kind of works like a dank in a way. Then we also got a Silk Touch pendant, which allows us to pick up chance cubes while we're holding this, and we also break it with it. And then we also got a tier 3 chance pendant, which is really nice for when we do open chance cubes. We can definitely use this, and it'll get us higher chances of getting positive things instead of the negative ones, which would be kind of worthwhile. And then, of course, we have the induction providers. These are the ultimate versions, are basically large batteries in Mekanism. However, to actually set this up, you still have to go through, I believe, the process of it, right? Unless, no, actually, this just gives you direct access to it. And in part of Mekanism, it doesn't really explain it too well, but you would basically use the induction casings, and these don't require anything. And then you need an induction port, and yeah, you're basically given a really crazy powerful battery. We're probably going to set this up for sure for storing power. But that, my friends, is going to have to wait until next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video a huge thumbs up. Also, if you wouldn't mind commenting down below what you enjoyed most, and let me know what your favorite part of Mekanism is. I would absolutely love to know that. I know everyone's going to say the generator, but I would love to know what actually is your favorite. But anyways, guys, it is time now to thank the supporter of today's video. And that huge thanks is going to go to Dave Farrell over on the YouTubes. Thank you so much for your continued support and supporting me in one of the best ways possible. If you guys are interested in looking to support as well, all you gotta do is hop on over to the Discord and you can become a Discord premium member. You can follow me through Twitch. And if you have Twitch Prime subs, that's another great way to get access to the subservers and all the cool benefits such as world downloads and stuff. And then also do not forget the YouTube member system, which is next to the subscribe button. It's the little button that says join. I would really appreciate it if you check that out, as it does go a long way in supporting this channel and allowing me to push content like this, even when there's times of low performance on videos and things like that, which is not really under my control all the time. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying the videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Of course, as always, thanks for watching. It has been done. I have achieved automated greatness. Oh, excuse me.